Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Daily IoT. So, I had to turn the camera back on. It is still Saturday night. This episode's not going to drop until Tuesday, but I had to post an update. I just couldn't let the screen thing go. I had to play with it some more. And as you can see here, I have both displays looking fairly good. This is actually the one that was not working. This is the one that I had working. I still can't explain that. I was running the exact same code on both of them. This one would just get uglier and uglier with every partial refresh. This one would look just fine. I have no idea why that would be the case, which is still a little concerning to me. However, just in messing around, I changed a little bit of how I did the partial update. And so instead of just trying to update where the stats are, I changed it to be a full screen partial update, which sounds counterintuitive, but just by doing that, I prevent the flash from happening, the little refresh flash. Ooh, it's getting late. But I also get the full display. Now, the degradation was still happening with the same code, happening here, not happening here. To get around that, all I did was change a little bit of delay on the startup and actually shutting the screen off and turning it back on. I have no idea why that would make a difference, but instead of leaving it on and doing the partial update over and over to test, I turn it off after setting the background, turn it back on, and then do 4 partial updates. It cycles through them beautifully on this screen, the one that was not working, and then I turn it off, sleep for 2 seconds, go back to the top of my loop function, turn it back on, and just by doing that, I seem to be getting very good results back with this again. And so I'm feeling pretty good about the state of the screen right now. What I want to do now, I know I'm just as sick as you are of talking about the screen because I don't want to be working on that part of it anymore. There's so many more things I want to be doing. And so the next step that we're going to take on this project is I've been thinking that because of things like this where I couldn't explain that, and again, it wasn't even happening when I used this one, I need to remove as much of that variability as I possibly can from the project. And it's sort of this idea of how many refreshes and updates can I go through before something like this happens. This one I've only used a couple of times and it worked perfectly, just like this one was in the beginning. But a week later, I was having issues on this. And so is that a problem with the display? I don't know. And so what I want to do is get this into a state as soon as possible, like in the next day or so, as what I would call a version of the product for pretend sale. Like, not that I would put it up for sale, but I want it to be on my desk as if I was a customer that had bought it and not treat it like I would a dev one where I have all sorts of access to it. I want to treat it as if somebody had bought it and it's sitting on my desk and it is working all the time. I'm going to decrease the time to update so that it's getting a lot more use, so it will fetch the stats maybe like every hour, which it's not going to change most hours of the day or even every day. But the fact that it's going through that motion and doing it, making sure the integrity of the display stays up, it will help me simulate a season's worth of updates in, a short amount of time. I mean, let's see, 24 a day. In 2 days, no, not in 2 days. It's getting late again, my math. In like 4 days, less than a week, I can simulate the updates that it would go through in an entire season. And so, that's my next step. Get this thing on my desk as a don't touch, treat it kind of like it would be a customer's and see how it's holding up. Because I'm at a point where I can fetch the stats and provide the core features of the product. And then I'm just going to work on the other experience things in tandem. But that's what's up. That's the update. I think we're in a good spot with the display. Fingers crossed we don't have to revisit this. Going to get one of these set up as a customer dummy and then continue to iterate on the features that I want to be in it. And so that's the approach I'm taking. We'll see how that pans out and I will keep you posted. Question of the day. What is the most frustrating problem that you've had to debug, whether it's in your maker projects or at work? The most frustrating thing you've had to debug. I've got a ton of these in my life experience. Some of them felt really good. It was a really hard thing that I solved. Some of it was the dumbest thing ever that I spent hours and hours on just to find out I had made some stupid mistake. So what is your worst debugging experience? Thanks so much for watching Daily IoT, the show where together we're learning how to make the Internet of Things one day at a time.